Former WWE Superstar comments on why he had friction with Brock Lesnar. Finn Balor and his wife dress up as Shawn Michaels and Triple H for Halloween. And Becky Lynch sends a special message for fans dressing up as her during Halloween. What's up, everyone? I'm Jose G, and there's a lot to talk about in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. Never miss brand new content by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Corey Graves makes a bold statement about the best WWE pay-per-view of 2021. The Raw commentator believes that Crown Jewel was one of the best pay-per-views WWE has produced over the last year. This year's Crown Jewel was held at the Mohammed Abdul Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on October 21st. The show was WWE's return to the Middle East for the first time since February of 2020 and the sixth pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. On the recent edition of After the Bell podcast, Graves stated that the Crown Jewel pay-per-view delivered on all fronts and was WWE's best show of the year, saying, quote, "I'm going to start today with a really bold statement. In my opinion, as a guy who has called and watched more WWE over the past 5 or 6 years, probably more than anybody on planet Earth, I think Crown Jewel was one of the best shows we have produced from top to bottom in a year or so. Crown Jewel, to me, was awesome from start to finish. And how could it not be when you start with a Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins and Edge?" End quote. Vic Joseph, a part of the After the Bell podcast, agreed with Graves' statement, calling the match card similar to WrestleMania and SummerSlam. This year's Crown Jewel pay-per-view had a stacked card featuring several former champions and WWE Hall of Famers. Edge and Seth Rollins entered their rivalry in a hard-hitting Hell in a Cell match, with the Hall of Famer coming out on top, while Goldberg got one over Bobby Lashley. Xavier Woods and Zelina Vega won the King of the Ring and the Queen's Crowns tournament, respectively, while Big E, Becky Lynch, and Roman Reigns retained their titles. The next major pay-per-view for WWE will be Survivor Series, which is considered to be one of the 4 major pay-per-views for the company each year. However, the build-up for the pay-per-view has been slow till now. Former WWE Superstar comments on why he had friction with Brock Lesnar. Former WWE star Cain Velasquez believes Brock Lesnar lost to him in the UFC ring affected their relationship in WWE. Velasquez, like Lesnar, was part of MMA before making the jump to professional wrestling. He had a high-profile match with Lesnar in UFC back in 2010, defeating the Beast Incarnate to become the UFC heavyweight champion. In a recent interview with the MMA Hour, Velasquez detailed his run in WWE and short feud with Lesnar in the Squared Circle. The Mexican-American thinks that his win against the Beast Incarnate in UFC led to some friction in WWE, but Velasquez said that their interactions were limited in WWE, saying, quote, "There's always going to be friction with that, so yeah, there was. But working together, we didn't work much, but talking to him just for that little bit, I just knew where he was coming from, just from that little time spent, and I mean very little. I know what he's about, and I respect him for that. What you see out there when he performs, all that shit, he lives it, he breathes it. That's him. That persona that you see, that's him out there. That's his true self. Close quarters, he's obviously more human, but that's him, and I saw that." End quote. Velasquez stated that he learned a lot from his experience in WWE and that he's glad that he did it. Velasquez, though, had some regrets from his WWE spell. He felt that he needed more time to develop and train to become a superstar. The former UFC champion was comfortable with the MMA and collegiate wrestling atmosphere as he knew what he was doing, but that wasn't the case in WWE. His run with Vince McMahon's company didn't even last a year, as he was released in April of 2020 after debuting in the company in October of 2019. Velasquez's sole televised match in WWE came against Brock Lesnar at the 2019 Crown Jewel pay-per-view, where the Beast Incarnate squashed him. Finn Balor and his wife dress up as Shawn Michaels and Triple H for Halloween. Monday Night Raw superstar Finn Balor and his wife Vero Rodriguez dressed up as WWE Hall of Famers Shawn Michaels and Triple H to celebrate this year's Halloween. Taking to his official Instagram account, the first ever Universal Champion showed multiple pictures of the two doing classic DX poses. Finn Balor also posed with the Intercontinental Championship like the Heartbreak Kid, while Rodriguez had a sledgehammer in her hand, a weapon that became synonymous with Triple H. The Prince's run during 2021 has been a mixed bag, and he has had a good amount of success and a fair share of heartbreaking losses. The Prince was drafted to Monday Night Raw during this year's WWE Draft, and recent reports have stated that he could take up Drew McIntyre's role on the Red brand following the latter's move to SmackDown. Finn Balor was quickly thrusted into the WWE title picture and competed in a #1 contenders match on Raw last week. Fans are hoping that the recent rumor is true and he will be a main event player on Raw going forward. Female WWE Superstar recalls a heartfelt moment with Becky Lynch in Saudi Arabia. Doudrop had major praise for Becky Lynch as she recalled an incredible moment featuring the man and her daughter at Crown Jewel. Lynch competed in a grueling triple threat match against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair at Crown Jewel, in which her SmackDown Women's title was on the line. The man came out victorious that night, but what she did immediately after the match left a fellow superstar highly impressed. Doudrop recently spoke with Louis Dangoor of Give Me Sport about a bunch of interesting topics regarding her WWE career. She was one of several WWE superstars who were featured on the Crown Jewel card and competed in the Queen's Crown Tournament finals against Zelina Vega. Doudrop recalled being backstage when Becky Lynch returned after competing in a 20-minute contest, saying, quote, "I saw her come back from her match at Saudi Arabia, and what a hell of a match it was. The three of them absolutely beat the lumps out of each other. And as soon as she came backstage, she picked up her little girl and carried on being a mom. And I just thought, wow, what a woman," end quote. Becky Lynch's WWE journey has been quite a fascinating one. A decade ago, Lynch made it clear that she had done everything in the business and was contemplating retirement. 8 years later, the man became one of the 3 women to headline WrestleMania. Becky Lynch has been dubbed as one of the biggest baby faces of the modern era. She has inspired millions of fans as well as several fellow superstars with her grit and determination. Recently, it was reported that the WWE locker room considered Lynch a hero for standing up to Charlotte Flair after their awkward championship exchange debacle. Becky Lynch gave birth to Rill last December during her WWE hiatus. She returned at SummerSlam and beat Bianca Belair in 26 seconds to win the SmackDown Women's title. Fans hailed Lynch for getting back into incredible shape after her pregnancy. Lynch still occasionally receives loud babyface pops, even though she's a heel on WWE TV. Becky Lynch has a special message for fans dressing up as her during Halloween. The man is one of the most popular superstars in WWE at the moment, and it shouldn't come as a surprise that many fans decided to use her as their inspiration for costumes during the festive season. Lynch took to Twitter to express her gratitude to fans who dressed up as her for Halloween. Their current Raw Women's Champion wished them nothing but the best and stated that she felt humbled and honored. Lynch has always been known to be very friendly and personable with her fans. The Irish superstar has consistently cited the WWE Universe as essential to her rise to the top in the company. Even as an on-screen heel, strong support for Becky Lynch could be found in almost every crowd and city. An exchange between Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and a WWE fan at a Cricket Wireless meet and greet has gone viral. The excited fan was overcome with emotion and instantly began crying when she saw her idol in front of her. Lynch broke character and helped the fan calm down, creating a memorable and touching moment between the two. Thanks for watching today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. For exclusive content you never want to miss, you gotta subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. Follow us on all social media and download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.